All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pour Me a Sip. We are here with a very special guest today. We've got our friend Christine with us. Thanks for hopping on, Christine.
Thank you for having me.
Dope. Awesome. We've got some pretty cool topics to talk about today as well, right?
Yes, we do.
Awesome. So with that, we're going to go into intros first. So Christine, Amanda, you guys are longtime friends and have known each other since, I think, high school, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We met sophomore year. I think it's been 8 years now. Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
that's crazy.
I know.
Our 10-year friend anniversary is almost coming up.
And it's so crazy. Like, we didn't go to the same college, and we're done. We graduated college, and we're still in contact. Whenever I see her, we pick her right off. So, like, I consider her like a sister.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny. Even in high school, people were saying that we looked alike.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
happens so often. We would go out to like cafes. We used to be hip, so
Yeah.
we'd go out to
Used to be
cafes.
hip. We're lame now.
Now we're grandmas, but we used to go out to cafes, and people would ask us if we were sisters, and we're like, no, and they're like, really? You guys look so much alike. Are you related in any way? Are you cousins? We're like, no, we're just friends.
Yeah.
So like we get that a lot, that we look alike, and our mannerisms are kind of similar. Yeah.
So how are you guys still friends now? I mean, you guys went to different colleges, right? So you guys still maintain the friendship?
Oh, for sure.
Because you didn't go out of state, but you were far, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was like 2 hours away from the city, so I wasn't out of state. But if I wanted to go into the city, I couldn't, on a regular basis. You know what I mean? So what kept me going was just keeping in touch with all my high school friends that that I was still pretty close with, and look where I am now.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Still keep in contact with Amanda and a bunch of my other high school friends.
All right, so we're super excited to have you, like I said, and we specifically wanted you on this particular episode, guys. As you can tell by the title, we're talking about dating.
Yes.
Why did we want Christine to be featured in this particular episode?
So, like, we wanted different perspectives on modern dating. I'm coming from the perspective of being in a relationship for over 4 years, and I met my boyfriend traditionally. Gardy's on the app right now, on the dating apps, and then Christine actually found love through the app. So we wanted to talk about the different perspectives and kind of talk about what dating is in the modern day.
So before we go into that, let's go into our segment, Wine Time.
Alrighty. What do we have today? So we have a Carson Ridge 2017 Cabernet, and it is 13.5% alcohol.
Yum.
So I'm not really a red person, but I'm okay with Cabernet.
Okay. I mean, ideally, I would prefer not drinking dry, especially if I don't, if I'm not eating with it or drinking it with some sort of meat. But I don't know. Sometimes for me, alcohol is alcohol.
Yeah.
I'll drink it.
I'm trying to get myself more into reds, actually.
Yeah?
They're good for you.
They're definitely good for you. I'm trying to drink more of it. I know I'm used to drinking more whites. But cheers, everybody.
Celebration.
But I'm trying to get more into reds. I've noticed that I like Merlots. Merlots are good. Is this a Cabernet?
Yeah, it's a cab, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually really like those as well, or like a red blend.
The red blends, you can't go wrong with red blends.
Yeah,
I'll
you
drink
can't go
red
wrong
blends
with
every
a
day.
red blend. But yeah, I'm excited to try this out.
So this was recommended from a friend, and it's I think I've had it before, if I remember correctly, and I like it. So we'll see if I still like
Yeah.
it. It smells good so far.
And I definitely understand when you say like, oh, I need it with some type of like meat or something, like a charcuterie board or something like that.
Yeah.
For sure, like that's definitely my vibe.
So I recently went to a restaurant, and we were able to cheers, guys.
Cheers.
We were able to do an assortment of wines, drink an assortment of wines, and there were a couple of reds on there. And it was not until after I left the restaurant that I realized, oh, this is why they paired this particular wine with this part of the dinner.
Yeah.
It's because this is when they like rolled out the steaks. And but I ended up not liking my wine specifically because I like my meat well done. So my meat was already dry, and then drinking that with a dry wine, I was just like, yo, my mouth is a Sahara Desert right now. So it just wasn't working out for me.
This is actually really good.
Yeah, so it's not as full body
Oh, this
as
is
I
very good.
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
going to be, because usually reds are like very full body.
This is actually on the sweeter side too.
It's light.
It's
very-
light. It's
yeah.
a bit more sweeter. Definitely not as full-bodied. I would recommend this if you're not looking for a wine that is full-bodied. If you're looking for a full-bodied wine, this may not be your favorite, but it's also still quite delicious.
I'm getting a lot of like floral notes. I don't know if you guys are getting that, but it smells like.
I think I'm getting more of the fruity notes. You know, I mean, it is a grape.
Yeah.
But it's like the grape essence is really there for me. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys are kind of grasping that as well. But it's actually delicious.
I feel like I'm also tasting some. I might be wrong, but pear. Might be wrong though.
But it's still a true cab where it's like,
it's
dry. It's not like, you know, it's not too.
It's
sweet.
not a red blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a blend where I feel like blends are definitely more on the sweeter side. No, I like it. This is a good one.
But this is a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I like it.
So hopefully it'll loosen us up for the topic of today. And so we're talking about dating.
Yeah.
And what specifically about it that we want to dive into?
So I don't know anything about modern day dating or all the apps. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about like your experiences with like the different apps, like why are there so many different apps out there? And what's dating like since you're both on it?
So why is that though? Why is it that you don't know about it? Is your relationship's been long? Is that why?
Yeah, so like I don't know. I'm not sure if I would give online dating a chance, just because I think it takes away from like really getting to know someone. I feel like online dating is like very click and go, but I'm not like this. I've never had experience with it.
I think a lot of people feel that way before they get on the app.
And then when they're on the app, they realize, you know, it's a little bit different.
Oh, it is.
A little bit. Click and go, I'm not saying that that's not there. It definitely is, like for sure. But it's also in terms of what you're looking for, like your purpose of going on the app. It really depends. I know some people, they use the app for reasons that isn't.
Like for a hookup.
Yeah, like for
some
a
people just
hookup.
want to have sex.
Yeah.
Point blank.
I mean, just being straightforward. Like some people are there just to have sex and hook up. But it's good that if you know that's, you know, not saying that's like not a bad thing. You know, if that's what you're looking forward to, you're not ready for a serious relationship, then so be it. Just remember, do it safely. Remember to, you know, be aware of who you're talking to. You know, it also comes in terms of like safety too. A lot of people, you know, are against it because they don't feel safe using the app, which is totally understandable. That was me, you know?
Yeah, I know, for girls.
But yeah, like I gave it a chance and I was just clear on what I wanted, you know? And I think half the time by being clear about what you want.
That's a big thing. Transparency is key.
Are other people transparent though? Like, are they?
Not everyone.
No.
Not everyone. They will assume that you're there for a hookup. And honestly, this is something that I noticed.
They assume that more? That you're only there for a hookup?
No, I think it depends app to app.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on Tinder, then I feel like I'll tell you, me personally, I stopped using Tinder a while ago, but when I was on it, my mentality was that more people are on here for a hookup, and there was a couple of reasons for that. The biggest reason were the damn pictures. Those freaking
what do you
pictures.
Mean?
Like for me personally, what made like Tinder particularly difficult when it comes to transparency was the pictures. Like people would upload these pictures that are like model based pictures. I'm talking like they went to.
He's talking about the thirst trap pics, y'all.
Yeah, like it's just it's not authentic. It's not who you're like gonna meet. It's like
it's more like people.
It's too good. It's too
good to be true.
It's too good. Yes,
catfish.
Perfect.
It could be a catfish. We don't know.
It could be a catfish. It could be real, but it's like, yo, like, look at my assets. Like that. It's pictures like that. It's like,
okay.
Don't
you kind of know? You kind of know.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, sometimes I see it the same way. Like
with guys.
Yeah, if you see like an F-boy like photo, you kind of know what they're looking for.
Is it like shirtless abs?
Like shirtless abs. Like they kind of look douchey. Like pictures with like other girls, things like that. But it's kind of funny because.
It's funny you bring that up because I don't understand why. I mean, I'm not on the app, but like I don't understand why people who are on dating apps have pictures with them with other people if they're trying to. Like,
that annoys me so
like,
much.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have a picture of yourself with like another guy if you're trying to get with a guy? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It just it raises for me. It raises too many questions. I'm just like, who's the guy? You know, why is the guy in your picture? It's just like too many. I just don't. You know. But what I do find is sometimes it's hard to have photos of yourself to post.
Oh,
and
for
like your
sure.
photos, some of your best photos are with like groups or with other people.
And then you just look rude if you cut your friends out.
I know, but it's like your friend don't know.
But it's like your friend don't know. You're not auctioning off your friend, you know what I mean? Like things like that. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
I've seen pictures where it's a girl and her friend.
So
And
you're
I'm like, what's your friend's name though?
Oh my god.
oh my god.
I had
Yeah.
instances like that too.
Oh,
Don't
people
get
actually
me wrong.
comment and ask you? Because I've never
Oh
done
no,
that.
no, no. Oh no, no, no. Not comment, but like
okay.
mentally I'll be like, damn, I wonder who is who because I think this guy's
Oh,
cute.
yeah.
Or like if it's like a group picture and it's like their only picture.
Yeah.
And you're like just stuck guessing.
And
like,
you're literally like,
you're
so
like,
which
which one
is
of y'all? 'Cause
which one are you?
there's like only like 2 cute, decent ones in the photo. So it's like
annoying.
the majority aren't like, may not be your type. So it's kind of like you have to keep guessing. And then for me, I'd rather just swipe left if that's the case. I don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I would do the same. And
Yeah.
at that point, it's on you. Because if you're going to post one photo and it's a group photo of like 4 of you, then I'm like, I don't know who I'm going to meet.
So would you say like that's like one of the biggest challenges, or like what's the biggest challenge of like modern dating?
I mean, we're definitely going to have different perspectives because I'm a dude. Biggest
Yeah.
challenge is...
So what do you mean? What's the difference between her being
so-
a girl and a dude?
Like, there's different expectations, I feel like.
Okay.
I think this comes... Yeah, we're talking about modern dating, but I also think this comes from like traditional dating and old style dating where like men were expected to be chivalrous and whatnot. So for me, dating is a lot more costly not because I'm like I place this expectation on myself that I gotta foot the bill or anything like that. It's more so like there are women out there who are literally on apps just for a free meal, and it's
Oh,
hard for
wow.
me sometimes to decipher that because you could be talking to a chick for days before you actually
Yeah.
meet with her, and then you meet with her and like the way you were talking online is different from your interactions in person,
Yeah.
and it ends up just being like it could be a free meal for them. So most times like I try to go Dutch because I'm not like it's
I
gotten
think
to a
it
point
should be that way.
it should 100% be,
Yeah.
but there's some girls though that the bill comes out and they're just sitting there looking pretty.
Oh, they
Oh
don't
my
even
God.
offer. Like,
yeah,
like,
they're
no?
just they're looking pretty. I'm like,
Wow.
Like, what if they
don't even
offer-
like try to like
What
oh
if,
let me
what if
split the
they're
bill.
like, what if they're like, oh, like, do you want to like?
oh yeah, for
split the
sure,
bill?
100%. Let's do that.
Like, do you want to split?
Yeah.
What would you say yes, or would you be
All the
like,
time.
okay,
All the time, because like to be honest, let's be real, I don't know you.
yeah, that's true.
I don't
That's
know
fair.
you, and
That's
I don't
fair.
owe you anything. I don't know you. Yeah, we had a great night. But whatever happens after the night happens after the night. But right now in this moment, like you ate your meal, I ate my meal, and we conversed
That's
during
fair.
it.
No,
So,
I
like,
totally agree with that. Yeah.
You pay your meal, I pay my meal.
And coming off of that, like I totally agree with whole. I'm a girl, and I'm not gonna lie to say that like girls don't think like that because it's true. But the whole free meal thing, like there's not saying all girls are like that, but there will be some girls who kind of just play the game just to get like a free meal out of something and just like ghost the guy right after.
Yeah.
Right after like a nice meal.
That's so sad.
It's so sad. It's like, what's the point? Like, why lead them on? Like,
Yeah.
like, what's the point of that? But there's girls just like that. Like, and that kind of comes back to the whole, like, a lot of girls looking for, like, materialistic things. They kind of don't, I guess it's also kind of like going back to whole, like, kind of figure out what they want. That's why kind of like for a girl asking a guy asking a girl, being transparent about what you want to each other is super important. Like, if you're looking to date seriously, then say it. But if you're not looking to date
Yeah.
seriously, then say it
So
now.
is that like another challenge?
I think for a girl, I think I've noticed that at least with a lot of my girlfriends and stuff like that, they look for things that are more skin deep at least. And it's hard to find guys who are able to
What do you mean by
open
that?
them.
Elaborate. Skin deep.
Kind of like liking them for them. Like you.
But like when? Because like I get it. I would want to look for something that's on a deeper level too. But like date like.
Well, I mean, it's at first glance, it's all about the looks. You swipe because you thought they were cute, But after that, it's kind of like, I think trusting the guy and saying like, if this is what you're looking for, then can you prove it? Like, or like,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
it's like sometimes the guys can just say things just to make you happy, but you need to see it in like actions,
Yeah.
Like the little things matter to girls. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But so like your point brings me to like another point about dating
yeah,
through apps and stuff. So like one of the things that I am kind of like I don't like the modern dating of today is because like this is a part of the click and go thing. I feel like investing in someone takes time, and because you're on an app and there's so many fish in the sea, like let's say I'm getting to know you and we're going out on dates and we've been talking for like a week, right? And then you do one wrong thing and I'm just like, nope, on to the next. But like, what if I stayed with you for like a month or two and really invested in like you as a person? Then maybe we could have been something, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like with modern dating, that's hard to do. Whereas like back then, like when you picked someone, you really kind of like got to know them past like all of the, you know what I mean? Like all of the surface stuff.
I think that also kind of varies person by person and case by case. You'll have people who are like, you mess up once, they're like tossing you out. But there's a lot of people who are like, no, let me just like feel it out. Because like, you know, like the first date, it may have went kind of well. You're like, he's not that bad, you know, or she's not that bad.
But like, let's say the first date went bad. Would you turn a guy away because the first date was bad?
It depends on...
Maybe.
It depends on what was bad, though.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what was bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
girl ain't never gonna watch this. So like, I went on a first date where we had an amazing conversation.
Yeah.
We were talking about music, not like not even radio music, actual like instrumental music. Because you know, I played an instrument. She was going to music school, and it was great. I think we had lunch, but yeah, like I think 10 minutes in, not even, maybe like 8 minutes in, she had a long sleeve on.
Yeah.
And I noticed like a tremendous amount of hair poking out of her sleeve.
Oh.
Did that like turn you away?
No, because I'm okay. I'm like, that's natural. Arm hair, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Women with arm hair, I am okay with that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it was like, for me, I was like, oh, it seems like a lot, but whatever, right? But then I was noticing more things, right? Especially like around the hem of her shirt, her collar. I was like, is that hair there too? And I was like, yo, what's going on? So I was like, you know, this is a great conversation, but you're a little too hairy for me.
Oh. So that's a little bit more surface level.
I feel like a lot of app dating is surface level. Like you don't go deeper.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I think honestly though, but it's like the rules of attraction though. It's like if you're not attracted to someone, you're just not, because how can you stay with someone and love them if you're not attracted to them too? But there also comes a point where it's like, you know, I've dated guys before where I didn't think, you know, okay, how about this? There's this one, my ex-boyfriend, like, I swiped left on him a bunch of times, but he kept popping up on my feed. So I was like, all right, let me just give him a chance. And then we started dating after that because I realized he was like such a sweet guy. But, you know, just in terms of like, you know, things happened and we knew that, you know, he wasn't from here. So it just couldn't work out for both of us. And it was just more like he treated me really well. And then I just...
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
I grew
to
like him.
You swiped left on him, right? Because of how he looks.
Yeah.
And you didn't give him that chance. But when you did, he was a great guy. And I feel like a lot of like modern dating is kind of just very shallow. No offense to anyone who's not modern dating. I just feel like it's very shallow.
I'm going to say this now. I have a lot of friends who are on the apps too who will swipe on an okay looking guy. They don't know how tall he is or anything like that. So when they, you know, they think his face looks good, but then they meet him in person, they just say, all right, I'm just going to push it through for the dinner, you know, hence paying for the dinner, but never talk to him again because why? It's because his height. You know what I mean?
That's Christine's alarm going off.
Sorry, guys.
So it's time for her to get on the app.
Don't tell her boyfriend.
Yeah, no, right? No, you're right, though. That's what I was saying earlier in the conversation. Transparency is key because ultimately that doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help the guy because you're going to either A, get ghosted or, you know, it's not going to go past date one. And it doesn't help the girl because she shows up and you're like, wait, who's this, you know, miniature, you know, human? So transparency is key for sure.
Yeah, and I'm really big on not wasting people's time.
That's what's up.
So I'm like being for real, like, don't lead me on, and I'm not expecting you to lead me on. So tell me what you want now. If I'm gonna be here, like I'm here for the long run. If you're not gonna be here for the long run, then I'm not your girl. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest challenge: people not knowing what they want and not.
Oh my God!
Okay.
I think there's so many people when you ask them like, hey, what are you looking for, like on here, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm just like kind of feeling it out and just like going with the vibe. It's like either A, it could lead to something real, or B, lead to something like a hookup. half the time, I'm going to say majority of the time, it will lead to a hookup, to be honest, because that's what they're looking for most of the time.
If you know what you're looking for, then you're gonna be like, I'm looking for a relationship.
Yeah,
That's
just
what you need to
Yeah,
say.
but like
Yeah.
if you know what you're looking for, just say it. Okay, don't be hurt. You know, be confident in your answer because that's what you're looking for, and everyone deserves love.
So-
Yes,
honestly.
everyone does deserve
Yeah.
love.
Before we move on, I got a question for you, Christine.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked out on anyone, or has anyone walked out on you?
No one
Like
has
ghosted her?
No, like during the date.
No.
No, I've never.
Oh my gosh, that
I've
that
never-
happens to
Some people
people.
do that. It hasn't happened to me. Thankfully.
I'm too nice of a person to do that. I will push through for the date if I'm not, even if I'm not interested in you, like,
Yeah.
or like you weren't who I thought, you to be. No one has ever done that to me, but I will push through it. But I don't think it would end in a second date or like a kiss. It was more of like, oh yeah, thanks for like taking me out tonight. I had a really good time. And I hate to say this because sometimes they would be like, oh, like maybe see you next time, and I will be like, oh, maybe.
No, but you already know it's a no.
But I already know it's a no. But I don't want to say it to them because,
Oh my
like, you know what I mean. I'd rather have them have that like high right after the date, and then just let it sink in after they text me or something.
Thing is, so from like a guy standpoint, I feel like I can tell when the date went well, and I'll take the approach of hopefully I can see you again or
Yeah,
something like that. Like otherwise, I'll say something like, "It was nice meeting you. I had a great time," and I'll just leave it at that. And then, as on the way back home or whatever, if I'm thinking about it, I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is someone I want to meet." Then I'll just text her. I'll text her that night and be like, "Yo, I had a great time. Hopefully I can see you, next week or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be." But yeah, I feel like I can tell when it was a good date or not, and I'll go from
Oh,
there.
it's the same for sure. But
Yeah.
just be honest, girl.
Honesty is key.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for the both of you. Did COVID-19 affect dating for you guys?
Well, I found myself a quarantine bae.
Oh, okay.
So my
Success
boyfriend.
story.
So mine was a success story. I met my boyfriend like during quarantine, like around the beginning. And like, we're still pretty new into our relationship right now. We're going pretty strong.
That's good.
But we started talking on the apps, and to be honest, I thought he looked like he was up to no good on the apps, to be honest. So
Oh, he was like a D-bag.
yeah, like that's what I thought. But then like, I was being super real about my answers. Like, no, I'm like actually looking for something real, and hopefully, hopefully you are too. And he said he was down for that. And like, I wasn't sure if, you can say it, but I need you to like actually be for real. So he like actually would text me every day. Like, he would call me like a ton of times. We just started to get to know each other. And then we didn't actually meet up until like after the first month of talking through text and phone, which is kind of cool. And we didn't meet up until he called me first, actually. We started texting, and then he called me, and then we met up.
Did he call you through the app, or did he?
No, he like had my number and everything. I mean, I knew he unmatched me, but I know sometimes people do that to like filter people out after they receive like a number or like some type of form of social media to like another form of talking, But yeah, like we just started talking through that, and I like still call him every day, see how he's doing. And I think it's just good in terms of communicating.
Yeah,
And like
especially during these times.
Yeah, and especially during these times, just keep your head up. If you feel like because quarantine's holding you back, don't feel like that.
It's possible to find love.
It's
guys.
possible to find love, y'all. Like I'm, living proof that you can, but just take your time with it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is because I was dating through quarantine. I would say, just to answer your question right off the bat, at first it was difficult.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't even difficult. I didn't even bother. I was like, because back in February, March, April, not quarantine. Coronavirus was like this.
It was on the
thing.
high. Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm not talking to anyone. I don't
That was
know.
me.
Like, I'm not.
Really?
Stay away. Yeah.
I mean,
like,
still take precaution now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We still do that. Like, we try not to go out often, and like if we want, like we're craving something, we try to do it as like takeout or something, or like we just hang out in each other's company. But we always take precaution like all the time.
That's good.
And
Yeah, and I would say around like May, when at least in the U.S. we were starting to do it right, and before we like messed it up again. then I was like, not, I wouldn't say lenient, but I was more open to the idea of meeting new people. And it was also like, I've been on the dating app before quarantine. So like, it's not the way I approach the dating apps is not, like I'm gonna meet you next day. Like I'm gonna swipe and then meet you. Now, that's not how I do it because I'm actually looking for relationships. So like, I'm gonna talk to you through the app. And just like Christine, I was talking to someone for probably a month before we met. So at that point, I'm like, in my head, you're someone who's going to make the time to actually check in and talk and communicate. So at that point, let me take it a step further and see if you're comfortable with meeting in person.
Okay.
Yeah. And at that point, you're not completely a random to me. It's not the same. It's just like meeting someone at a bar or whatever during quarantine. And I felt a little bit more open to the idea.
Yeah.
I felt a little safer with that.
So that's cool. So we're going to wrap up, guys. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Gardy, for your experiences.
Yeah.
I still don't think that online dating or dating apps is for me, but you guys answered a lot of questions I had.
You say that now, but like it's one of those things where you don't know until you try it. And
I hope
it's a part of our generation now.
Yeah,
like people, it's hard for people to meet other people.
That's true. It's really hard to meet people
organically. I feel like a lot of people rely on apps now. It's the norm. Let's just say that.
Just to touch up on that before we wrap, that's actually an issue. I feel like if I go up to a girl nowadays, they're gonna view me more so as a creep as opposed to someone who genuinely wants to get to know them. So it's just it's easier. It's almost easier to be on a dating app. So like I understand where you're coming from, especially when you're in a long-term relationship, but you might be susceptible to it if you weren't in a relationship.
If I was,
it's easier to get to know someone.
I can't speak because like I'm not in that situation, and hopefully I don't have to.
Hopefully you guys, you keep it strong and you just keep going from there.
I don't know. Dating sounds hard. I would not want to date.
It's I tell her all the time.
It's
honestly,
so
for me,
hard.
For me, I don't know about you, but for me, it's a job. I feel like dating.
Oh, it was such a
job, and it's so.
I was like on the every single app every single day when I was in the dating scene.
Yep. There's days that are frustrating. There's days where there's good days, but there's bad days too. And then you just gotta you literally have to have the mental capacity, especially if you have a job.
Yeah.
Because it's a job after the job.
Yeah.
It's like.
Oh, that's so much work.
Also, just shoot your shot, everyone. If they don't text you, you text them. Okay.
Yes. Especially you girls out there, like you don't gotta wait for the guy to make the first move. Like that's old news. Like stop living in that mentality is just it's not working for you. All right, it's not 100%. Working. But that's a topic for a later day. Christine, thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing some of the insights on your dating experiences, and I hope you and your new man have a great future together.
Thank you so much, guys.
For sure. Guys, this was Pour Me a Sip. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back again for the next one. And comment below. Let us know what you guys think about dating apps. And feel free to share your stories. And we'd love to hear them and comment back. So until then, take care.
Peace out.
Bye.